In Des Moines, voters will decide on one of the at-large city council seats. On the ballot, challenger A.J. Drew and incumbent Carl Voss, who is seeking re-election. KCCI talked to them about some topics that are top of mind for voters. Jody Long shares some of their thoughts.
Part of the reason prompted me to run was I ran into several situations where I got notified of changes that were wanting to be made. And it was at the end of the thing where basically they were ready to implement.
A.J. Drew doesn't have a record in local government, but says his motivation is getting more transparency. While Carl Voss, who is nearing the end of his first term, says he gets the job done.
I like to get stuff done. And so I hope that my record reflects that.
KCCI sat down with both men to discuss a variety of topics important to Des Moines voters, including funding for the police department, which takes up 1/3 of the city's operating budget.
I think what needs to be changed is there's not really accountability outside of the police force, right? And maybe city council, maybe the state laws, right? But not, no real oversight. And then that's why a lot of people have been pushing the Citizens Oversight Committee. And I'm all for that.
I look forward to some changes in the police force. I think that some of those will occur as part of when many departments will be moving to the new building. And I look forward to for example, having a de-escalation simulator there.
KCCI asked candidates to identify the biggest economic issues for people living in the city. Voss said people need more affordable living options.
Building and rebuilding neighborhoods and strengthening neighborhoods. I think one of the really strengths that has happened in the last 4 years is Invest DSM. I'd like to expand that when we have the capacity to do so, but that has really improved a lot of homes in Des Moines. We definitely need more housing in Des Moines that meets the price point that people can afford for their rent or to purchase.
Drew said wages aren't keeping up with the cost of living for a lot of people.
It's the cost of living and being able to afford things and not be worried about being broke by large bills. I mean, especially if you're working at McDonald's and Burger King and fast foods, and janitorial services aren't usually paid the best either. I mean, there's a lot of jobs that we need people to do, but you can't really earn a living wage that also gives you some security in the way you live. So for that's something that really needs addressed.